Hello everyone, this is the video in continuation with the morphology of the maxillary first premolar. In the last video we spoke about the buccal aspect. Here we shall talk about the lingual aspect. The lingual aspect of the maxillary permanent first premolar is the reverse of the buccal aspect. So buccally you saw a trapezoidal shape with a wider mesiodistal aspect. The lingual aspect also is roughly trapezoidal and is smaller than that of the buccal aspect. There is a prominent lingual taper. When you see from the buccal aspect, you can see that the mesiodistal dimension is wider, but lingual aspect, the mesiodistal dimension is lesser. This gives a prominent lingual taper, which is more observable from the occlusal aspect. Hence, when you see the tooth from the lingual aspect, some portion of the mesial surface and the distal surface is visible. Not only that, the lingual cusp is shorter than the buccal cusp. Hence, you can actually see both the distal and the mesial slopes of the buccal cusps from the lingual aspect. Now let us talk about the lingual aspect itself. The lingual surface is much more spheroidal than that of the buccal surface. The mesial as well as the distal outline, the mesial outline here and the distal outline here, are roughly spheroidal and rounded, and they continue to form the lingual cusp tip. The lingual cusp is much more rounded and it has the two cusp slopes, the distal cusp slope and the mesial cusp slope, which form roughly 90-degree angulation. But it is shorter than that of the buccal cusp. The lingual surface, as I said, is spheroidal, which is much more prominent when you see from the occlusal aspect. You can see that roughly they are spheroidal there. On the buccal aspect, you saw a prominent buccal ridge. Lingual surface also shows a prominent lingual ridge, which is seen right in the middle here, the lingual ridge. But you do not see the developmental depressions on either side, which you saw from the buccal aspect. That is because the lingual cusp is formed from a single lobe. This whole component is the extra growth of the lingual lobe, which is the cingulum component in the incisors and the canines. The cervical line is regular with the maximum convexity, which is in line with the middle of the lingual root. There are two roots which you can see here, and from the mesial or the distal aspect you can make out that the buccal cusp is longer than the lingual cusp. And when you see from the lingual aspect, the spheroidal appearance of the crown is visible and the crest of curvature of the cervical line is roughly in middle line with that of the lingual root. So you can see a portion of the buccal root also from the lingual aspect. So in the next part of this video, we shall talk about the mesial aspect of the permanent maxillary first premolar.